The Jamila Adams Experience is the podcast for women over 40 who are ready to rediscover their strength and purpose. Hosted by Jamila Adams, entrepreneur and best-selling author, each episode offers inspiration, tools, and heartfelt conversations to empower and uplift.
Welcome to the Jamila Adams Experience. Hey, I'm your host, Jamila Adams, and today we're going to be talking about something that can either make you feel empowered or drained. Either way, this is something that we all have to do as entrepreneurs, people in business. You know the drill. It's networking. But here's the thing. Networking isn't just about collecting business cards and making small talking events. It's about creating and building meaningful relationships that support your growth. So let's dive into this topic and let's learn about networking with purpose in order to create authentic connections. The problem is networking can feel superficial. Let's be real. Traditional networking can feel fake, phony-ish, if that is a real word, and it can be exhausting because let's be real here. When we go into these businesses, or let's just say wherever they're hosting a networking event, you walk in because half the time you do not know these people and you just get stuck in this like, who am I talking to? Why does it matter? We've all been there. So sometimes you just have to look at it as, I know my purpose here is to make connections with people. However, I don't feel like passing out a stack of business cards because to me, that is not a real connection. But let's move on from there. So people, when they do network, sometimes they feel like they have to sell something, and that's not the point. The whole point of networking is honestly to network. So basically what you're trying to do is get connections so that way you can possibly network later. But there's time and a place for everything. But when you approach people, be you. Be your authentic self. Don't be fake. Because people can pick up on that and it's such a turn off. We've all been there. So let's work on changing that. Here's the solution to purpose-driven networking. The whole point is you're not trying to collect contracts right in there. You're trying to build connections. You're trying to connect with people. So here are the things that you have to do in order to do that. Number one, lead with genuine interest. Stop focusing on what you can get out of it or what you can gain from it. Instead, be curious about the other people in the room. What excites them? Learn about their industry if you are not in the same industry. Learn about their services, their products. Even about if you get that deep, learn about what's going on in their personal life. I mean, you ain't got to go all the way in, but you know what I mean. Introduce yourself as someone who can be known and seen as someone who listens, who pays attention, actively listens. So that's the whole thing. When you talk to people, don't always look around the room to see who else you can talk to. Focus on the person that stands in front of you. We've all been there. So number two, you have to provide value first. Think about how you can help that person before asking anything in return. Can you introduce them to somebody, even if they're in the same room? Share a resource. If you've written a newsletter as of late, talk about that, or talk about your previous life experience about how you became this entrepreneur, business owner, whatnot, and talk about how you can support others. You have to bring value first because people don't want to come in and say, oh, this person's trying to sell me something, or oh, I always feel like whenever I see this person, they're always passing out business cards and they're just talking just to hear themselves talk. We've all been there. Don't front. Anyway, number three, be strategic and not self-serving. Yes, be intentional about who you network with, but don't limit yourself. I always try to find people that are not in my sphere of expertise or in my industry, and that honestly makes me, I think, a well-rounded person, and opportunities arise from unexpected places. So when you go out to network, listen. Like I said, in number one, actively listen. But I always see how you can connect this person to another person. So be strategic, because sooner or later that network will come back to you. Number 4, Follow up and stay engaged. One conversation does not build a relationship. Let's be real here. So you have to follow up. Leave a message. Don't be, stalking them, but say, hey, it was great talking to you at this last event. Is it possible we can hang out, talk about, what we do over coffee, whatever. Share an article about their industry and also invite them, like I said, over a coffee. It can be virtual, it can be in person, but just follow up and stay engaged, because after a while, you're going to end up needing that person's contact. So you might as well just keep them in your, well, I should say phone. Nobody has a Rolodex anymore. So finally, number 5, and this is to me what we have to do in life in general. Show up authentically. Be yourself. People appreciate honesty and realness. Don't ever forget that. And sometimes, the whole thing, fake it till you make it. No, be you from the jump. Be awkward. Be quirky, because people admire that. People really want to see that, because they want to be able to be themselves too. And if you can see that you're being your real self, they'll do that. Those are my suggestions. Here are the results of building a stronger network. When you shift your networking approach from transactional to relational, everything changes. We should be building relationships. Put people at ease. Disarm them with your smile. And, just be you. When you build a network of people who truly support you, they refer opportunities your way, and that will definitely help you grow as a business owner, entrepreneur, and also will grow your business. And guess what? After all this, you'll enjoy networking more, because you will be putting yourself out there more. You're being your authentic self, you're showing up, and you're just being you. So, as I leave you with this, your challenge, the next time you go to a networking event or just chatting online, because we all know we can do things virtually and in person, focus on the connection over collection. Let me say that again. Focus on connection over collection. Be intentional. Be generous with yourself and others. And just be you. Like I said all the time, I want you to be you. So if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share it with a friend, and leave a review. I want to hear from you, because this year's theme is finding your voice. And I'm so excited. I'm reaching out to people I've had on the show previously, just to follow up with them, see what new projects are going on, and they're so into finding their voice because they want to help others do the same. So let's keep the conversation going. You can catch me on the socials. You know where to find me. I'm on Instagram. And also you can go to the website and listen there, JamilaAdamsExperience.com. So remember this. I want you to be inspired, be inspiring, be encouraged, be encouraging, but most of all, be you. And I'll chat with you next week.